Hey everybody, I'm here today with a video tutorial on the Epson ET-2760 all-in-one printer. In this video tutorial, I'll be going over specifically how to fix a paper jam easily. So if you want to fix a paper jam easily, I'll show you exactly how to do it in this full tutorial. Now I will say this, I've owned this printer for a while. I've printed probably thousands of pages on it, and I've only had a paper jam one time. So it is a rare occurrence on these printers, but it's very important to know that if you're constantly experiencing paper jams, then you probably have an underlying problem. And the most common underlying problem is it being placed on a surface that is not that steady. So if you have a surface that's wobbly or shaky or on an angle, that might cause a paper jam. In addition, towards the end of the video, I'll tell you how to prevent paper jams from happening in the future if you're constantly experiencing them, okay? So let's get right into the video, how to fix the paper jam. Step one, the first thing that you need to do is try and pull the paper out with two hands. If you're lucky enough that the paper jammed up right at the beginning or in the early stage of printing, then you can try and pull the paper out with two hands. So essentially you have your paper input tray here at the back, and let's say the paper's loaded in, but it's somewhere here and it gets jammed up. So you still have access to the back full page of the paper where it hasn't been ripped or torn or anything. You're gonna with two hands, you're gonna grab it on either side. So one hand on this side, one hand on this side. You're gonna try and pull it out. And if you get lucky enough to see that, it's a full sheet of paper, unripped, unsegmented, then, you're good to go for the most part. You should have cleared the paper jam, and you can just check the other things. But if there's a piece of the paper missing, then you're going to have to move on to step number two, and you're going to have to go and look for that missing piece of paper. Or if you can't pull it out from there, you're going to have to sort of access the paper through the internals. So for this part, I would recommend that you unplug the printer, okay? Just because you don't want any moving parts. So you just unplug the printer, and essentially there are basically three spots that you can look. The first spot is if the paper is already significantly printed, and it's going to be out here because this is where the output tray is. So if it's almost done printing and it jams up, you can try and pull it out from here, okay? Or you can look for any segments of paper over here, any pieces of paper over here. The next spot is you can open up this door, so not the document scanner bed. You want to go below it and open this entire piece right here. This allows you to access the internals of the printer. That's where it actually prints on there, and your printer head might not be to the side. It might be in the middle because it jammed up. So that's why it's important to unplug it so you know that it's not going to be moving. You want to try and get out any sheets of paper that are stuck in there. And with that being said, make sure you try to not touch anything in there other than the sheets of paper, because lots of stuff in here is what is needed to actually print. So with that being said, you want to try and avoid anything in there, because if there's a sheet of paper in there, try and get the paper, but don't touch the ribbon or anything like that, because or the track, because that's essentially what's used to actually print out to create the printing action, I should say. I'm stumbling over my words. But essentially, just try and get the paper there. Don't try and touch anything else. Try and get the paper and don't touch anything else if you can. The third spot where a lot of people don't know about is back here on the back panel. If you see there's these little tabs, you can squeeze them and you can open it up. I'm actually going to remove the paper just a little bit easier. Oops. With it removed. So yeah, the door does come completely off. Obviously, I'm going to put it back on after this video. It's really easy to latch back on, essentially, just like that. It's not that hard to do. But, you want to squeeze the tabs and look in there, and that gives you even more access to additional places where you might be able to find any segments of paper. So with that being said, when you're done, close it up, and hopefully you've gotten rid of all of the paper at that point, and it should be unjammed. Now let's just pull this back up for a moment. There we go. If it is still jammed, you're gonna have to continue working on it slowly but surely. Sometimes it's just a tiny little piece of paper that causes the jam, and you gotta find it. But if you keep looking, you will find it. All that I recommend is that you make sure that it's unplugged whenever you are working on the internals of it, okay? And the third thing is if the problem persists. So let's say you get it cleared up and then all of a sudden it's jammed again, then I do recommend that you clean the printer nozzles and the printer heads. So from when the printer's on, there's a maintenance menu, and on that maintenance menu you can select clean printer nozzles, okay? And it's gonna clean I think it's clean printer nozzles or clean printer heads. So you're gonna clean the nozzles or the heads, because rarely, if the nozzles are clogged up and if there's a lot of extra ink lingering there, it can cause the printer to jam up. And if that doesn't work and you still get problems, like I said, make sure it's on a steady surface, that's a flat surface, not on an angle, and something that doesn't wobble or shake. And lastly, you can do a power cleaning of the printer heads and the printer nozzles. It does use up a significant amount of ink, but it really flushes them out, and it usually clears up any problems that are caused by the printer heads or nozzles that you've tried the other things and they don't work. Then a power cleaning will usually work, but that's a whole separate video. Make sure you have enough ink. Leave yourself about 10 minutes for it to run its cycle, and there's a specific way to access it, which that's a whole other separate video. So that's basically it. If you have a paper jam in your Epson ET-2760 all-in-one printer, that's how to clear it up in a few simple steps and how to avoid it from happening or persisting to happen again after you've cleared it for the first time. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.